Where the frick is everybody? We were supposed to begin at 11:55, not 12 o'clock. I sent out the link twice, and the only guy that shows up is this freaking turn-of-the-century oil man who doesn't even own a computer.
Perhaps if you thought through your plan for world domination a little more, we wouldn't have ended up in this mess, Evil.
Oh, I'm sorry, Daniel. Did you have a better plan? I didn't hear any ideas come out of your little freaking mouth. Maybe if you'd participate more in discussion, we wouldn't have these kind of problems. Honestly, could you just throw me a bone here?
Victory isn't achieved through your sniveling little schemes, silly old man, but through the slow and deliberate choking out of your enemy's spirit.
What? What does that even mean? Where are the laser beams? How are you supposed to take over our planet without laser beams? Vizzini, where the hell have you been? The meeting started 5 minutes ago.
That's exactly what you wanted me to think, isn't it? Nobody starts a meeting at 11:55, nobody. So I deduced with my highly refined and intelligent mind that because I came 5 minutes late to the last meeting, this time you told me to come 5 minutes earlier than the time you had scheduled. But, of course, I devised from what I know of you and your clever tricks and your obsession with punctuality, that if I was 5 minutes late to the last meeting, you must have come up with some scheme by which to get me to show up on time to this one, thus explaining the unconventional start time, which was clearly just your means of getting me to show up to the meeting on time. But I knew that you planned for me to show up 5 minutes earlier than the scheduled time, and so I thwarted your plan by showing up 5 minutes later than the time you'd set me, making me right on time.
Damn it, we've lost Vizzini. Oh well, I guess it's for the best. I could never follow that little turd is saying anyway. Where's Bellatrix? I'm sick of that frazzled spider always showing up late to these things. Like, seriously, get your freaking shit in order, right? I'll give her a call. 1 sec. Here presently. Oh, thank heavens you're here, Bellatrix. I was beginning to worry you'd gotten gobbled up by a flipper wonk or some crazy shit like that.
I was in the shower, you bloody barbaroot! You stupid, lively toadfucker! I ought to turn you into a night sprite!
Calm down, Vampira. I just gave you a little...
You buxom buttersnap, what kind of a nimbly flick it interrupts a girl in the middle of a shower just to remind them to come to the Digiflirt meeting?
Calm down, Bellatrix. I
ought to make donkey ears sprout from your head.
Damn it, you psycho spider bitch! How am I supposed to wear a shower cap now, huh? Or go on with my day?
Evil, I'd like it very much if you would get on with the meeting. I have an appointment in 20 minutes that I can't afford to miss.
Fine. Not everyone's here, but fine. I know our little plan to take over the planet by means of viral disease was going swimmingly until the CDC put us all on this freaking lockdown. So that we now have to conduct our evil meetings online. I'm postponing our plans to collect our $1 million ransom from the planet's leaders. So we're meeting today to discuss what the frick is, damn it, it's one of those freaking hackers. Excuse me, little girl. We're kind of in the middle of a super secret meeting of Gassader's mind here.
You worm-your-longest turd, don't tell her what we're doing.
I'm sorry. Who's hosting this meeting?
Oh, I'm sorry. Who is about to have an ass's ears jutting out of his cue ball head and an ass's snout to match jutting out of his face if he doesn't shut his mouth?
My cousin has a cow snout jutting out of his face.
Your cousin sounds like a lovely person. Now, please leave.
He was, until we slaughtered him for his beef.
Little girl, have you considered becoming a super villain?
I used to cut the heads off my Barbie dolls when I was a little girl.
That's a start.
Then I started doing my pet hamsters. Then our next door neighbor.
You're in the club.
Goody.
So then, shall we keep chugging? Or does someone feel like interrupting? Are we good? Are we set here? Okay then. So since we can't organize the drop in person, I propose we do it virtually via Venmo. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Did you just nix my proposal to orchestrate a virtual money drop, little girl?
That wasn't me speaking. It was my pet pony. I have to speak on her behalf now since I cut her head off.
Little girl, I'm beginning to think that your brand of villainy is a little too macabre for our club.
I quite like it, actually.
Oh, okay then. Well, why don't you start your own villain club where one of you boil frogs and zap mushrooms with little lightning bolts and other witchy things. And Daniel and I will split our $1 million between the two of us. How does that sound?
Sounds quite nice, actually.
I'd be totally down.
Very good then. Let's sign off.
Yes, let's.
Well, now we can make dick jokes.
You make me sad, Evil.
What are we going to do now?
No, I'm not going to leave you, Evil, but I'm going to log off.
But what about the plan?
What plan?
The $1 million ransom?
I've already collected the ransom.
What?
I collected it this morning. It's picked up. It's finished. It's gone.
What do you mean?
I collected it myself.
How?
I have my ways.
But what about me?
What about you? You let me into this club. You knew I was a ruthless oil man. You knew I made no compromises and took no prisoners when it came to my business dealings. And yet you let me in anyway. And now you're suffering the consequences.
You can't just take over my club. I started this group.
Oh, yes, I can. Because you see, I have. I've already taken it over. It's mine now. I broke you and I beat you, and I'm in charge of the super duper super villains club now. My first order of business is to get rid of that horrendous name. And also to kick you out.
Wait, no, you can't.
So long, Evil.